Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this Monday morning with me, Business Coach Malloy, and we are on the second week of this year. Hope you had a fantastic beginning of the year. But work goes on, and today we are on our sales series, and we continue with the sales series. So last week I got a huge amount of response. Last couple of weeks, in fact, I've been getting a huge amount of response from a lot of you that the objection handling went on pretty well, and now you know why uh, most sales processes don't work because we are not following the process of the USPs, of the FABVs, of looking at the target market, looking at how to position our product, the sales scripts that come in, uh, the objection handling that we go through, the mistakes that sales teams keep on making time and again, in spite of not getting the response, the relevant outcomes, they keep on making the same mistakes. So we move on today, and today we are going to talk about something that is pertinent to every business, whether you're a B2C, whether you're B2B, whether you're the services business, it's pertinent to all of us. And that I'm going to talk about is client retention. How do you retain existing clients? Because it's always easy to sell to existing clients who know you, who have experienced you. In fact, I was with a client on on Friday in Ahmedabad, and one of the activities that I've given them was to map out the every client performance over the past 36 months. And when we looked at this year's statistics, they totally have about 130, 140 odd clients in that list, of which 64 has placed orders this year and 71 haven't. And the sad but the funny part is that the organization sales leadership is not tracking that data. 71 clients have not placed orders, which means they have placed orders with somebody else. And instead of trying to figure out new customers, going out and making a completely sales pitch, what stopped us from looking at this 71 and saying, how can I get some more out of these 71 clients? So today we are going to talk about this subject, which doesn't get too much attention, even though every entrepreneur knows how critical it is. Not winning new customers, not increasing sales funnel, not boosting marketing spend, not finding new markets, but simply retaining and upselling to the clients you already have. And that too without using discounts as a primary tool. And I want to have this real conversation with you, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, because serious entrepreneurs understand retention in the way that younger founders simply don't. You've seen customers who have stayed with you for 10, 15, 20 years. You've also had customers who have surprised you, walked away, or silently drifted away without an argument or negotiation. And you know the emotional sting when someone you served well for years suddenly decides to move on. Hence, retention is not a sales topic. Retention is a leadership topic. And today I want to spend time unpacking just not the mechanics of retention, but the psychology behind why customers stay, why they leave, and why discounts, while tempting, may actually weaken relationships rather than strengthen them. So let's begin by acknowledging a truth that every senior entrepreneur instinctively knows. Retaining a client is far easier, far more profitable than acquiring a new one. Yet most businesses behave as if the opposite is true. They spend disproportionate amount of time, money, energy chasing new customers while silently losing the ones they already have. When was the last time you went out and did a client satisfaction index? If I were to ask all of you to take all your major clients and do a client satisfaction index on a rating scale of 1 to 10, how many of your clients would give a rating of 8 and above. Because if they're not giving a rating of 8 and above, you're making some serious mistakes. You're not making that effort to retain that client while you're spending disproportionate amount of time, energy, money in acquiring new clients. Because customer loss is not loud, it's not dramatic. Customers don't always complain when something goes wrong. They don't always send an angry email. Most customers simply drift. They reduce their orders, they stop calling, they become polite instead of warm, the frequency goes down, the relationship thins out quietly, and suddenly they are gone. And when you ask them why they left, they would rarely say the price was high because that's the most easiest excuse. But the real reasons are always emotional, subtle, and behavioral. A delayed delivery that no one owned, a call that was not returned, a follow-up that didn't come when it should have, a concern that was heard but not addressed, a promise that slipped through the cracks. And slowly, the relationship that once felt like a partnership begins to feel like a transaction. And that is where senior entrepreneurs have a unique advantage because they have personally seen how deep relationships are built. They know that a client stays not because everything is perfect, but because you trust them when things aren't perfect. They say because they know you will respond, you will take responsibility, and you will not hide when a problem arises. You take feedback. We as entrepreneurs take feedback from our customers. Clients stay because of emotional safety, not economic comparison. Remember last week's conversation on the sales objection. It is rarely the price. No customer leaves a responsible vendor. They leave inconsistent ones. They leave indifferent ones. They leave vendors who no longer feel like partners. And yet, when a client expresses dissatisfaction, the fastest reaction in many businesses is to offer a discount as if money can replace responsibility. Discounts are used as short-term painkiller, but they never fix the disease. A discount does not heal a trust issue. A discount does not replace empathy. A discount does not match the value of genuine care. You know what discounts actually do? They quietly erode the perceived value of your offering. They make the customer believe so the price wasn't real. There was margin to give. They start negotiating harder next time. They shift focus from your expertise to your numbers, and you end up teaching the customer that the best relationship they can have with you is a discounted relationship. And the more the customer stays with you because of price, the less they value the relationship. And here's the real danger. Once you enter a discount-based relationship, getting out of it is almost impossible. Now the customer expects it every time. They're mentally adjusted to it. They started comparing your discounted price with the discounted offers, and you lose the negotiation power, the respect, and the positioning you spent years building. So the question then is, if not discounts, what truly retains a client? Let me take you into the deeper layer of this conversation. Retention is not built on dramatic gestures. It is not built on delighting customers every week. It is not built on giving gifts or creating fancy loyalty program. Retention is built on only one single word, and that is predictability. Predictability is one of the most underrated business trends in the world. Customers stay with people who don't surprise them negatively. They stay with businesses that deliver the same quality, the same tone, the same experience again and again and again. Predictability creates psychological peace with the client. The client will never leave someone who gives them peace of mind. And that is why senior entrepreneurs often say, my best customers are the ones who trust that I will not let them down. It has nothing to do with the cost. It has everything to do with the confidence. And if you look back at your longest standing clients, the one that have stayed with you for years, You will realize that they didn't stay because you were the cheapest or the flashiest. They stayed because they knew exactly what to expect from you. They stayed because you were reliable. They stayed because in moments of uncertainty, you didn't disappear. Reliability is a retention strategy. Communication is a retention strategy. Responsiveness is a retention strategy. Responsibility is a retention strategy. And all of these beat discounts by a mile. So let's explore something else that senior entrepreneurs understand very well, but don't always say it loud. As your business grows, the founder becomes more distant from daily customer experience. The customer no longer interacts with you. They interact with your team, and your team, even if they're good, do not carry years of maturity, your tone, your instinct, your problem-solving ability, or emotional intelligence. This is where businesses lose loyalty. Not because the founder changed, but because the team didn't reflect the founder's value with the same intensity. Customers stay when the founder's culture is visible in the entire organization. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you experienced your own business the way a customer experiences it? When was the last time you saw how your team speaks to your customer? How they respond, how they follow up, how they handle uncertainty, how they communicate during problems. You may be shocked to discover that half your retention issues are born from small behavioral gaps within your organization, gaps you may not be aware of, but your customers feel every single day. Retention is not built by a strategy alone, gentlemen and ladies. Retention is built by a culture. Culture decides whether your team treats a complaint like an irritation or an opportunity. Culture decides whether they take ownership or transfer blame. Culture decides whether they follow up by instinct or only when they are reminded. Culture decides whether they solve a customer problem or only log in as a ticket. If your team sees this reliability, they will mirror it. They need to see it in you first. If the team sees you take responsibility publicly, they will learn to do the same. If your team sees you prioritize relationships over transactions, they will learn to value clients deeply. Retention is leadership, ladies and gentlemen. Retention is influence, and retention is values in action. Now, let me bring this closer to the ground reality. One of the most powerful retention tools senior entrepreneurs have, and they often forget, is a personal check-in. Not a sales call, not a negotiation, not a renewal reminder, not just a check-in, a short message, a phone call, a small conversation. How are things? How is business? Is there anything we need to improve? How many times any one of us out there have sent out a small message or a phone call asking these three questions? How are things with you, Mr. Customer? How is your business? Is there anything we need to improve on? You will be amazed to see how this one simple behavior can strengthen relationships faster than anything else. Customers do not expect founders to check in anymore, but when you do, it stands out. It signals care, it signals respect, it signals the relationship matters beyond the invoice. Retention is often that small human gesture done consistently, not massive reinventions. When was the time that you went out to your customers and took a feedback about the work, about the product that we're selling? Or is our phone call only to remind the client about our invoices? Let me also touch on something that senior entrepreneurs understand deeply, that retention protects your mental peace. A business where customers come, go, complain, negotiate constantly keeps your energy and you on the edge. But a business where customers stay, where trust is stable, where conversations flow easily, that business gives you confidence, focus, and emotional stability. Repeat business does not just add value, it gives you calmness, it gives you predictability, it gives you control. And here is one more powerful truth here. A retained client buys more, a retained client refers more, a retained client negotiates less, a retained client forgives more, a retained client grows with you, and a retained client becomes part of your business story and legacy. Discounts cannot create such clients. consistency can, responsibility can, connections can. So think about this and go out and do an exercise today on your retention strategy. Today, I want you to reflect on something very, very simple. Think about your top 10 customers who have stayed with you the longest. Think about why they stayed. Think about the small moments that strengthen the relationships. Think about the trust that built naturally over the years. Now ask yourself, what would my business look like if every customer felt the same way? Because your next phase of growth will not come from 100 new customers. It will come from fully valuing the customers you already have. So this week, choose a few long-standing customers, reach out to them personally, not as a task, not as a formality, but as a genuine check-in. Go and take feedback from them on where you can improve. That one single step can change the energy of your relationships. And as we end tonight, I want to end today with a thought. Customers don't stay because you're the cheapest. They stay because they feel safe with you. They stay because they feel understood. They stay because they believe you give them the respect. And all this safety is not created by discounts, but by the behavior that you as an entrepreneur show them, and how that behavior percolates down into the culture of your organization, where everyone treats your customer the same way. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this has been an enlightening session. While I was making this content for today, it really opened up my mind, and for me, it was mind-boggling. Next week, we'll go deeper into understanding your market share, how to measure it, how to track it, how to increase it in a practical, data-backed, founder-friendly way. Till next week, same place, same time. Have a great Monday morning. Have a great week. And I shall see you on the other side.